So, just a fair warning, we are going over a heavy topic today. As I said before, there's not going to be a fan art section for this one because I don't feel like people's fan art being put next to people attempting to do themselves in is smart or healthy. I don't think anybody wants their fan art to be shown in front of one of those things. So, we need to talk about what happened recently with Nijisanji. And I wasn't going to talk about this because I don't want to cover VTuber drama stuff. It's really not my cup of tea, but this has evolved way past that. This has evolved way past that. So, for those who do not know, we're actually going to bring up a article on the situation to get everybody up to speed here so they know what we're talking about, and then we'll go over what has recently happened. What has recently changed. Okay, so there was a talent who worked for Nijisanji who went by the name of Selen Tatsuki and is now going by the name of Dokibird. According to the Dextro article on it, on February 5th, Nijisanji found themselves in hot water after terminating Selen Tatsuki's contract over what they named as breaches in her contract. To which the Liver quickly responded that she was in a toxic work environment that resulted in her being bullied for numerous months. As a knock-on effect, this has led to planned collaborations with the agency's other Livers being canceled and an outpouring of support for Selen, who now goes by her alt Dokibird. So for those who don't know, for those who aren't into the whole VTuber culture thing, if you just watch me because you're here to see politics being talked about by slime girls, I guess. So, for a lot of VTubers, they are part of what are called agencies. These agencies provide a lot of support to them in exchange for financial obligations being handed to them. A lot of agencies will pay for your model to be made, and then the agency, as a result, will find an artist, usually an in-house artist, that they want to commission for your model, and then you will have to provide an amount of money, either as a truncated amount from your streams, or as an amount that comes out of your pay otherwise, like you would for any other commission. And then after it's paid back, then you usually go back to whatever split amount that you've agreed to with the agency. They provide you with notoriety, for instance. If you're somebody who doesn't have a following and you start streaming with the words Hololive or Nijisanji or anything like that on your tag, it's an automatic group of people that are going to be able to watching you. They're going to be able to watch you now. So we actually have the contract specifically right here. And there's a part in the contract, you'll notice that there's a Twitter note here, which is important. But it is with regret that we had to make the difficult decision to terminate our affiliation with the Nijisanji English Liver, Selen Tatsuki, due to multiple breaches of her contract and misleading statements on social platforms. For transparency, we've provided a detailed explanation of the circumstances and reasons that have unfortunately led us to this decision. So, the activity rules that they have, they're designed to prevent infringement of third-party rights or leakage of confidential information, which is going to be very interesting for us to talk about here in a second. So despite our efforts to uphold our rules, Doki has repeatedly violated the activity rules since joining Nijisanji in July of 2021. Her actions violated the activity rules and encompass a wide range of issues such as non-compliance with the rights confirmation and authorization flows, which could potentially lead to infringement of third-party rights, including copyrights. The violations also include unauthorized usage of works and assets belonging to others affiliated with any color, disregarding the intentions of these parties, as well as lack of communication with creators. As a company, we recognize that these violations of the activity rules could damage the trust placed in Nijisanji. Again, this part is interesting. In May of 2023, we sent a notice to Doki stating that any further violation of the activity rules or engaging in false or misleading statements that could damage our company's reputation would result in the termination of our affiliation or contract. However, she has continued to violate the activity rules. Let's see here. On December 26, 2023, she posted a music video on the Selen Tatsuki Nijisanji EN YouTube channel without prior approval. Oh no! You posted a music video without approval! Oh god, it's so horrible! Jesus crap. The materials for the music video were shared for the first time with our management on December 24th. Since some elements in the music video lacked proper authorization, on December 25th we communicated that permission needed to be obtained from relevant parties, requesting her to be released before releasing this. Despite this, she disregarded the notice and proceeded with the unauthorized posting. Our immediate response was to make the music video private until all authorizations were confirmed from our end. At the same time, the reasoning was clearly explained to her. She took to social media saying specifically that she made misleading statements that omitted essential context. Notably, management has privated this song. Furthermore, Selin Tatsuki's post included a statement encouraging third parties to re-upload the music video, which breaches our guidelines for secondary creation. These actions led to various misunderstandings that damaged the reputation of both Anycolor and Nijisanji. Okay. Let's see here. Termination of the contract. So far, the biggest sin that they've stated is she posted a music video and we had not fully authorized it. Okay. Rand says, why was the video against the rules then? Apparently they have rules that state that you cannot put something up if they have not said that it's okay yet. And apparently she posted it regardless. At least that is the side of the story that they are given. Or that Nijisanji is giving. After attempting to address the aforementioned situation and communicating with the legal counsel representing Selin Tatsuki, we conveyed the necessity for Doki to inform the public about the reasoning behind our decision to make the music video private. Additionally, we expressed to her our expectations for future compliance with the activity rules from here on. Despite our efforts, she demanded that Anycolor should be held legally responsible. She claimed that she was no longer able to engage in her activities as a liver due to the decisions made by Anycolor. And was being harassed by other affiliated livers due to mismanagement while refusing to acknowledge her responsibility for violating the activity rules. Moreover, Doki insisted that if her negotiations did not progress, she would proceed to release a statement regarding her claims to the public. Okay, that's a reasonable thing for somebody to say. Like, hey, I have grievances, and they are with this company, and I will make more of those grievances known if I need to. Anycolor believes that the claims released by her are in fact referring to situations that arose when she was warned about her breaches of the activity rules. This led to the deterioration of the relationship between her, Anycolor, and the other livers. I feel like that things between her and the other livers were already deteriorated. According to what's been said in the document so far and what's been said by Doki outside, apparently those relationships were already doing pretty poorly. Considering the irreparable damage to our company's reputation and threat to the ongoing activities of other affiliated livers, we concluded that the termination of our affiliation contract with her was unavoidable. I feel like by terminating the contract, you just opened up the floodgates. Oof. Since becoming a part of Nijisanji, Doki has undeniably played a significant role in the growth of Nijisanji. We fully understand that our decision to terminate the contract will have a significant impact on Doki's fans and supporters. However, ensuring responsible content creation through adherence of the activity rules is fundamental to our mission. It is with deep regret that we must part ways with our affiliated liver, and we could not reach an agreement on our points of view. However, we would like to ask for an understanding of our fans as to the circumstances that led to this decision. As of today, the 5th of February, Doki's activities will cease, her YouTube membership will be closed, and her social media accounts will be made private. We will also gradually halt the sale of merchandise and voice-related content. Please note the merchandise produced in 2023 featuring Doki or including her in the lineup may be released in the future. Ah, isn't that so great? God, I'm so sorry we traumatized you. We're going to continue to sell your shit, though. Selin Tatsuki, otherwise known as Doki, her revenue payment for these has either already been completed or planned to be settled by the end of February. The Nijisanji group will pursue their activities with Rosemi Lovelock and Petra Gurin. We sincerely thank all those who supported Doki and apologize for any inconvenience by this announcement. We humbly request your continued support of Nijisanji in the future. Now, there is a community note here which we're going to look at. There is a part in here for the notice of termination where they said, we hereby announce that we have to make the official decision to get rid of her. There's a part where it said lack of communication with creators resulted in delays in Doki's commission payments to those creators, but the creators that were supposed to get those permissions by Doki stepped forward and denied those claims, saying that Doki had paid them out of pocket because the Nijisanji management had not been doing it themselves. And we can go ahead and see one of those here. I just want to say it was amazing working with Doki. She was really kind and responsive. She even paid out of her own personal PayPal account when the company hadn't paid me after months of waiting. So Nijisanji did not pay an artist after months. And after not paying after months, the VTuber just went, nah, I'll do it myself. Fuck it. And Nijisanji is just like, it's her words that made people not trust us. It's her words that made people not trust us. And, yeah, no, that feels wrong and icky and gross. But let's go back to the article that we were in. Because this is where we need to get more context. So on February 5th, they announced that it would terminate... Oh, God, that's an ad. Go away, ad. Anyway. They announced that they would terminate her. Unlike a standard graduation, the industry embraced the term for mutually agreed upon ending of a contract between a VTuber agency and a VTuber. Nijisanji made the executive decision to outright cut ties with her over claims that included breaches of contract and allegations of misleading statements on social media platforms. So, you know, for those who are not in the VTuber scene at all, graduating is just the term that is used for anybody who is a VTuber who is stopping VTubing. It doesn't mean they're stopping streaming. It doesn't mean they're quitting their jobs. It just means they are either no longer affiliating with the company that has been sponsoring them, or they are quitting VTubing specifically. Now, the reason that the term graduating is used is because VTubing originally was based off of idol culture. And in idol culture, a lot of people, as they get older, would graduate and quit their jobs because they needed to be of a certain young age to be idols. The term, it's got weird roots, and the roots are a little gross when you think about it, because idol culture is very exploitative. It's very, very exploitative, and this just kind of shows up more often as a result of it. But let's continue here. And people wonder why I don't like big VTuber agencies. Anywho, Nijisanji made the executive decision to outright cut ties with her. She was removed from Nijisanji. Her Twitter account was immediately locked. All of her YouTube videos disappeared from her channel. The move from Nijisanji arrives on the heels of Doki's announcement that she had been hospitalized, grinding her social presence to a halt. Only now Doki has spoken up about the situation on social media. For more than a month, Doki couldn't say or do anything. Doki, who is not affiliated with Selen Tatsuki, said in a statement, Selen Tatsuki was at a very dark point in her life. Selen Tatsuki didn't know what was going to happen in the end. Selen Tatsuki wants to leave on mutual grounds. Selen Tatsuki knows that it would be too bad for everyone involved if it went this last possible route. While often viewed as a niche form of entertainment, VTubing has exploded on the international scale. Agencies like HoloLive and Nijisanji have dominated the market, creating unique, colorful characters to appease an audience drawn to those designs and the personalities behind them. Nijisanji has been so successful in its endeavors with Riku Tazumi, founder of a parent company Anycolor, is one of the youngest billionaires in Japan. Profit from VTubing is largely made through fans who provide donations, subscribe to VTubers, yada yada yada. You know how streamers work, right? But while agencies have been a secure way for VTubers to find a stable income, Nijisanji has come under fire several times over its abrupt graduations, terminations, and suggestions that the company has stymied its talent's attempts at potential growth opportunities. With Selen's termination, again, Doki's termination, there has now been a public outcry among fans and other VTubers within the English-speaking sphere, criticizing Nijisanji for its talents on a scale that hasn't been seen before. Doki is not the first VTuber to be abruptly removed from Nijisanji over the murky accusations. In March 2023, the talent agency removed Zion Lanza over, as stated on the official Nijisanji account, copyright infringement and offensive remarks and giving likes to comments falling under defamation of Nijisanji livers. Okay. In the months following, VTuber Sayo Synchro released a document refuting several of these claims, and additionally, it provided more information as to what was expected of Zion during her time as a talent of any color. Okay. Scrolling back down to the stuff that deals with Doki specifically, the announcement of Doki's termination was abrupt, but having spoken with a talent from within Nijisanji, instances like this are not entirely unexpected, at least in terms of, quote, graduation. In January 2024, just before graduating from Nijisanji, VTuber Pomu Rainpuff stated in a now delisted stream that she had given up life-changing opportunities under her time working with the agency, but was in the precarious situation of not being able to explain why. She said for talents themselves, it can be extremely sudden. An anonymous talent told Polygon while reporting on our earlier look at the VTuber industry, sometimes you can't even share information that would correct any kind of misunderstanding or prevent harassment. There's a couple situations like that that have been happening recently that people won't shut up about, but that's not something I'm going to talk about right now. It turns into a benefit of the doubt kind of situation, where the only thing that can speak for you is your already existing content. Even then, given there isn't any real explanation, it creates a divide between the consumer and the agency. The uproar around Doki's departure has had an impact on Nijisanji. As of February 8th, Any Color stock continues to plummet, with comments on the Yahoo Finance page largely talking about the company's inability to retain its talent, such as Pomfu Rainpuff and Misty Rias, and the mishandling of Tatsuki's termination. Following the statement released by Doki, several members of Nijisanji, such as Anna Alouette, Fulgur Ovid, Fina Ryogu, Kyo Kaneko, Uki Violetta, and Meliko Korean, announced that they would be taking temporary breaks and stepping back from social media. So, the part that we need to talk about right now... is a little bit interesting. The part we need to talk about right now is a video that just came out from one of the members of Nijisanji, Elira Pandora. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm just gonna go ahead and say my friend Freya has already given me about what I feel like I'm gonna experience, reminiscing on the 15 minutes that I could have used for literally anything else, but I will never get that back. So we're gonna very briefly go through this video and see what there is to be said. Because, looking at the comments, I'm seeing some sus shit already. So this is a live stream with nothing in the beginning. No visuals, no nothing.
Hi, this is Elira Pandora. Thank you for taking the time to listen to us today. Fox and Ike are also present here with me, and we would like to take some time to address the events surrounding Solen Tatsuki's contract termination.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
To preface, we have discussed with Any Color staff and our legal team about what we are able to say. However, due to how sensitive the situation is, please do keep in mind that there are limits to what we're able to share.
Okay, so bear in mind that one of their so Doki attempted suicide. That is the part that is currently not put in here so far. That is the part that has not been talked about on the article that we have looked at so far, is that Doki has said publicly that she attempted on her own life. So you're going to make us suffer with us? Yes, absolutely. So, let's go ahead and go forward. So this is an employee of Nijisanji. This is one of the talents who are affiliated with Nijisanji. 3 of the talents who are affiliated with Nijisanji. Real quick, let's go ahead and pull up. Why does every website want me to see notifications? I do not want to see that. Real quick, .esports actually has the part that I wanted to find before we start this. According to Nijisanji, Doki and her legal representative refused to back down and instead informed Any Color of the company that it should be held responsible for her inability to engage in her activities as a live streamer due to managerial decisions and mismanagement that allowed her to be harassed by other affiliate livers. Additionally, Nijisanji noted if negotiations did not progress, Doki was planning to release a public statement. If that wasn't enough, Doki was hospitalized after that music video incident in what she originally stated on December 27th was an accident. Now sharing the information from her personal account after Nijisanji revoked access and set up all her branded media private, she confirmed that she was hospitalized for an attempt on her life. And I believe, yep, this is Doki on her own personal account. I will not be silenced anymore. On December, I was hospitalized for an attempt that was caused by a buildup of bullying from within and being in a toxic and poor environment for numerous months that led to my breaking point. I requested to leave first, but on more neutral terms on the 26th of January. I will be returning here as I would like to celebrate Lunar New Year with all of you. This holiday has meant more to me and my Chinese culture as someone that lived in China for a big portion of my life. It should be the start of happiness and new beginnings. So, a work environment that was so toxic that the only way that she saw out was suicide. I'm sorry, but if you're at that stage, I'm gonna be scrutinizing Nijisanji, like, really fucking hard. Said she was hospitalized after an attempt, referencing attempted suicide, brought on by bullying from within and a toxic environment. In the same tweet, she confirmed she had originally been looking to leave Nijisanji on more neutral terms on the 26th of January, before later confirming that she was caught off guard by her termination in an emotional voice message. Which, if it is here... Okay.
I waited until I stopped crying, and I'm more calm now to make this voice tweet, but thank you everybody for all the love and all the support you've all given me so far. And I was honestly caught off guard by the announcement as well. I was luckily awake because all I do is just play games until I'm really tired, and then to force myself to sleep because I definitely haven't slept well in a very long time. And I guess I was lucky enough to be awake at the right time to have friends message me about what was going on. But anyway, I just want to say thank you, everybody. Just a huge weight off my shoulders, and it's going to be hard, but I know we are strong together. And I'm just happy I'll be able to celebrate Lunar New Year with all of you, because that was what I was most, I guess, not most concerned about, but at least we get to start off Lunar New Year a little happier.
Fucking
anyway, also gone thoughts at Chimboyan, 또 가이죠 support all. 호호이스모이 동감도연 kengai 동감도연 가모요. And also I want to say thank you to all my old and new friends for backing me up and seeing all the friends I've made in the past couple of years, messaging me, giving their public support, giving their testimonies about me and all the artists. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
So, I want you to consider real quick, not only how fucked up it is for somebody to be put in a situation where they feel this fucked up. However, there is information floating around online that in a statement from Anycolor to its investors, the company made an announcement that the impact of the decision to terminate Cell and Tatsuki, again, Doki, on our financial results will be negligible. I'm just gonna go ahead and say, right now, that is a very fucked up thing to say in an area where people have access. Ah, right. Sorry, I don't even have to say it's floated around online. I just found it. On February 5th, 2024, Anycolor made the decision to terminate our affiliation contract with Nijisanji and Liver. The impact of this decision on our financial results will be negligible. The impact will be negligible. The impact will be negligible. Man, let's take a look here. 1 month, we get about here after December, and then it just a straight plummet down. Just a straight plummet down. Gee, it's weird. The plummeting down of their financial stock happens directly after they get rid of Doki. God, that's so weird. Jeez, also, how's it going, Mosh? How you doing? Everybody who doesn't know, Viquissa, who's in the Twitter chat right now, is my emote artist. So if any of you enjoy the majority of the emotes that you've been using on my channel, then Mosh is actually the one who did them. Please go give them a commission if you haven't already. But the impact will be negligible. God, they're just a statement that's going to go down in infamy. It is... All right. So with that full context, we have a VTuber who attempted suicide because of what was going on at the company. A lot of the bullying is happening from the other talents. So what do those other talents have to say?
Both we, the Livers, and the company have been affected deeply and are taking the situation very seriously. Everything that'll be discussed has been approved by our lawyers, or is based solely on our personal experiences. Before anything is discussed, there is something very important that we, Nijisanji En, feels need to be made very clear. All of us do not condone harassment of any kind to any of the parties involved.
Of course they would say that. But also, it's kind of weird that the talents are having to make a public statement.
Okay, so...
Sorry, that was a replay of the Doki video. It is weird that the talents have to say anything.
After discussion with the members of Nijisanji En as a collective, I volunteered for my channel to be used for this stream. Additionally, we've been told that there will also be a video releasing regarding the situation from Tazumi-san directly a few hours following the stream. But what we say on this stream is our own words and our own feelings. I would like to first apologize if my silence on the matter has caused any worry. Over the past month, staff received documents from Solen's lawyer containing examples of her claimed experiences under Anycolor. These documents in question included personal information of some Livers, and when it was sent to us, we learned that there was a potential that this information could be made public.
So, this part is fucked up. Do you want to know why this part is fucked up? I can make it very, very simple for all of you. Very simple. Documents were made available? Documents were made available to the Livers? Huh. Well, according to Doki, Doki's basically HIPAA documents. Doki's medical documents were never supposed to be shown to anyone other than her lawyers, and the other relevant lawyers. It was a private document with her personal info and was used as a legal document to help her lawyer and document her thoughts, and it was never supposed to release to anyone outside of the legal department. Makes her wonder if her medical and hospital records were also released without her consent, as that was also promised to be kept private. Apparently, the diagnosis and reason for hospital stay was reported without further private info being disclosed. It was requested that none of this info should be revealed to anyone other than legal. Thank you, everybody, for the support. I really wish things didn't have to go this way. I didn't say anything more than I was ready to move on and start a new life. Man, what a weird scenario. I feel like some of those documents, all of those documents, none of those documents should have been shown. but okay.
Some of the information poses a risk to our personal safety and puts some of us at risk of doxing. Notably, one section of this document alludes to where Millie and I live.
Also, yes, Doki is Canadian. If memory serves, there's actually some documentation of Doki recording some of the conversations, and they might end up being used in a legal proceeding. And because Canada has a one-party consent law, anybody that tries to say that it's not okay for Doki to record these settings to use in a legal court of law is incorrect.
However, there are also harmful claims Selene made in the document about some livers' personal information that we believe are simply untrue. I felt threatened and scared of speaking out about the situation because of the risk that it could pose to not just my own safety, but the safety of those around me as well. I'm very sad that this is how everything had to turn out, and I deeply apologize to all the—
So she feels threatened because her actions led to somebody else making an attempt on their own life? Weird.
fans who have been affected through this time. When Selene had posted the tweet about her cover being privated, several EN members reached out to Selene and we expressed our concerns. We were genuinely concerned, and we wanted to understand the situation as we were all in the dark about it. Once she notified all of us regarding her hospitalization, we immediately reached out to her, each other.
Also, Jassa, no, things don't get murky. So, the only law that applies is the law in the state of the person who has hit the record button.
And her manager to confirm her safety. Her manager also immediately reached out to her and her emergency contact and kept us updated throughout the entire situation as well. It's been a very tough time for a lot of us, and I'm honestly not sure what else to say, but thank you again for everything, for waiting, and thank you.
Thanks, Alira.
No,
you're
no
right.
worries.
Yeah, it has been a really, really tough time, and it's had an effect. I've noticed it's had an effect on everyone. It's had an effect on me too. So I'm joining this stream to talk about my experiences with Selene, to lend some of what I know to help you all understand the context of this a little bit better. I know that a lot of you watching are going to have your own views and opinions on the situation, and so all I would like to ask is that you can take the information that I'm going to present at face value if you can. So this recent situation began when Selene claimed on Twitter that her most recent song cover had been made private by staff, and she gave no context or reasoning as to why. In actuality, she had been asked to send the content of her
The chat is... Yeah, the chat is not happy with this.
music video to her manager in advance of the release date so it could be checked for content, etc., which is something that all livers agree to do. Her manager communicated with her about this very clearly, but she released her cover without giving management time to check it, and as a result, it needed to be made private. It was going to be made public again once the checks had cleared. Management absolutely intended to let her release the cover once they'd made sure that it was okay to release. It's very important to establish this pattern of events had happened before on multiple occasions, including her Fall Guys tournament in August of 2023, a voice pack in May of the same year, and an outfit contest also in May. In each of these situations, Selene would be working on one of the projects I mentioned.
Yeah, everybody in the chat is just yelling, damage control, scripted, damage control. Let's throw Selene under the bus, great idea. So this is all fairly consistent. This is consistent with the stuff that Nijisanji said, but this is also consistent with the stuff Doki said. So what Doki said about the situation largely amounted to, hey, I was getting bullied. I was getting bullied a lot by these people, and this environment was toxic, and this environment was bad. It makes sense that if somebody is in that environment, their first feeling when they're in a situation where something of theirs was taken down immediately is, oh, this won't be able to be released. According to her, she was already considering leaving the company anyway on the 26th of January. And this was all happening early December. According to Mosh, in the chat, these were some of the more popular members of Nijisanji, and this feels very damage control-y. This feels very much like Nijisanji went, these are the faces that we're putting forward that would be able to curb the enthusiasm of the crowd much more These are the ones who have our best interests at heart. And instead, this is all falling apart for them.
Mentioned she'd be given clear communication about confirming certain aspects with staff, as all other livers receive and comply with. And each time, she would refuse to cooperate. And when staff would react appropriately, she would make public statements that would hurt any color's reputation. And as these situations kept occurring, myself and other livers felt very upset and anxious. We felt that these statements harmed all of us as a group. Excuse me. So, it's this context that I hope explains why myself and some other livers decided to approach Selene and ask about her handling of the latest situation, which was her cover being made private. So some livers, myself included, asked Selene why she tweeted about the cover in the way that she did, expressing that we felt it was unnecessary and harmful. According to Selene's lawyer, it's this event that they claim to be a build-up of, and what they claim to be a build-up of past experiences that led to accusations made by Selene that she was bullied and harassed.
So, the multitude of experiences that were happening because of what was going on with Nijisanji and the talents and all of that.
As you can imagine, this is incredibly serious, and I want to state that throughout my friendship with Selene, I did my best to support her in private and talk to her about any problems she might have been having whenever I had the chance. Having thoroughly reviewed the documents sent to Anycolor by her lawyer, and based on what I know personally and have been told by Selene as her friend, myself and other members vehemently believe these claims to be completely untrue. I feel very confident in saying that the way I and other livers communicated with Selene about this incident was fair and reasonable, especially considering our built-up anxiety over this repeating pattern of behavior. In my opinion, I do not think that it was a form of harassment. Also in the document given to...
In his opinion, he does not think this was a form of harassment. And the nanosecond he says that, everybody in the chat... Yeah, they got community noted on Twitter. I saw that.
Anycolor by Selene's lawyer, it stated that Selene had secretly recorded me in a private voice call without my knowledge or consent. Now, I have absolutely zero memory of what I might have specifically said in that recording, but we know it was on the topic of the tweet that I had made around the time of AR Live's cancellation last year. From what I know, based on this document, Selene had wanted to use this as proof of staff showing favoritism for some members over others, as at the time I wasn't reprimanded by staff having made that tweet. I followed this issue up with my managers, and I was told that they didn't reach out because they didn't want to cause further controversy at the time. However, I've been asked to delete other tweets on multiple occasions when I've accidentally broken a rule. In these cases, we're politely informed that when we should avoid tweeting something, we apologize, delete it, and move on. The real issue here, however, is that some...
So, I will say, as a devil's advocate, if you don't think you're being recorded in a conversation, or if you feel like you're having to say what somebody wants you to say in a conversation and you're being recorded, the likelihood of you remembering everything that's said there is low. There's some instances in my life where I've had similar things happen. So, I can at least say there is a chance that he may be entirely telling the truth there, script or no script, about the recording thing, about not knowing exactly what he would have said.
Someone I trusted and considered a friend not only recorded me in secret, but also that these recordings were held without my knowledge for almost an entire year. The fact that this was held throughout our friendship is really upsetting to me.
Also, if you feel like somebody may... I will say this. If somebody is a repeated victim of trauma, them recording a conversation to make sure that they have protection is understandable. You can think it's a breach of trust. You can. I wholly understand that particular side of things. But if somebody has had a repeated... What's the best way to put this? If somebody has had reason to regret not recording a conversation repeatedly because they do not think that they will be believed or they think that they will be gaslit, then I can understand recording a conversation there. Especially when somebody's safety is part of the conversation.
Until now, I had always looked up to Selene as my senpai, and I felt really lucky to be her friend. Having to talk about this now and seeing how this has played out is, again, heartbreaking. Selena told me privately about her disagreements with staff and her managers, and I had done my best to support her and to help her make what I thought were the right choices, even when she talked about wanting to graduate. For context, leaving Nijisanji is always an option for Livers. If she had wanted to graduate beforehand, she was given very many chances to do so amicably, and on multiple occasions, Selene had told us she planned on graduating. But
So wait, hold on. She had a date that she wanted to graduate, and then was blindsided by the graduation while she was in the hospital. Because from what I understand, the time she was in the hospital, when she came back, that was when everything went to shit.
would then go back on this shortly after. For example, she told me that she would be graduating on the day we hosted the Prism Cup, but as you know, this didn't happen. She also, after being warned by staff due to her repeated rule breakages in May of last year, told other Livers that she was being terminated at that time, when, like I said, she had just been warned, nothing else. Because I trusted...
So, my guy, you do understand that when you are working at a job, and that job decides that it wants to tell you that you are expendable, you are going to be terminated if you keep something up, and you feel like this is going to continue happening, if somebody says, hey, I feel like the writing is on the wall, then it's perfectly reasonable for them to be like, hey, I'm being terminated. Like, when I was working at Walmart, when I got my D-Day, I knew that I was going to be fired eventually. I ended up leaving before that happened, but I knew it was going to happen because I knew what my boss above me wanted to do to me. When I was working at Walmart, I don't know if I've told this story already, but I had repeated instances where the person who used to be the ZMS adjacent to my department, when I was in Department 82, became the manager instead of the grocery department, because our Walmart had a tendency to cycle its managers, where I had a grocery manager who was very amicable and wanted me to learn all kinds of stuff, and then she got cycled to night shift, and then the grocery manager of day shift became the person who used to be the ZMS around me, and that ZMS got me in trouble for not adequately making a pallet safe for customers around me. And I had taken a cart and put it on the pallet like I was told to, and the cart was not there when I was told that it was unsafe. And when I asked that manager in front of another manager, can I review the footage? Can I look at the footage of when I placed that there if you're going to terminate me? And instead, they said, no, you're not allowed to look at any of that footage. I know what happened. That's when I knew the writing was on the wall. Was I terminated at that point? No, I wasn't terminated yet. They were getting all the paper trail stuff ready so they could terminate me without me being able to get unemployment. It's perfectly reasonable for somebody to say that this is what's going to happen to them when they see the writings on the wall. If you've ever worked with one of those kinds of managers, you know what that's like.
her so much, and I listened to her narrative of half or untruths about her relationship with Anycolor. This caused me so much anger on her behalf that I had considered graduating with her in solidarity, seriously. And I now know that my intense feelings at the time came from omitted context and falsehoods, and that, once again, is heartbreaking. I'm incredibly happy with my job, and even in the face of times as hard as these, I really wouldn't want it any other way. So regardless of how I now feel about Selene having been my friend and having hurt me and my fellow livers in this way, her attempt on her life will never ever be something to be taken lightly. I recall a moment when I and other livers found out about what had happened, and we prayed for her safety then, and we still do. Regardless of the outcome.
Everybody in the chat just going, this is negligible, this is victim blaming, what a good company you guys are working for, a black screen is fitting for this company.
The situation, I genuinely want nothing more than for Selene to grow up
Tipster?
and to be in a safe place where she can look after her health, insofar as me and the rest of you can heal in our own way too. To those of you watching this stream, please leave her be. Harassment of any kind is vicious, and it's insane, and it has no place in this community. That's all I need to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vox. Before we round things off, I also had something that I wanted to say. It's going to be a little bit on the shorter side. By the way, hi, I'm Mike. First off, I just wanted to say, preface this with, sorry if I have a hard time finding the proper words for anything. I'm a little bit all over the place right now. Excuse me for a second. For a very long time, I considered Selene as a good friend within Nijisanji Ian, be it on stream or off stream. We always managed to get on really well. So that's why it was so shocking for me to learn that Anycolor had received these documents from Selene's lawyer. Learning about what was contained within these documents was, to me personally, incredibly saddening.
So, again, y'all weren't supposed to have documents from Stellan's lawyer, from Doki's lawyer. Y'all weren't supposed to have that. From what I understand, those documents were never supposed to go to the other livers. Those documents were supposed to be with the lawyers. That's it.
Knowing that the things said within the document were coming from the very same person that I call my friend was hurtful and disappointing in a way I really don't know how to describe. Not only because of it made me
It's also funny to me that Any Color said that Doki caused irreparable damage to the company while she was with them, and that the termination would cause negligible damage. And then the damage that was caused to the company turns out to all be because of the termination. It is very strange to me. It's very, very weird.
now re-examine our entire friendship. But
no, Jassa. So with documents like that, Doki's lawyer isn't the only one who gets to see them. The opposing lawyers also get to see them. Because her lawyers and Nijisanji's lawyers have to build a case around those documents.
merely because the document contains some information that we believe is incorrect, that could be harmful for us, and it's just private information that is very terrifying to have being, shown before you like that. Right now, we're...
But who released them? It would have either been Nijisanji's lawyers or it would have been Nijisanji's staff who had had discussion with their lawyers. It would have been one or the other.
all very stressed. But in spite of this, I feel like the public deserves to, at the very least, be aware of the existence of these documents, as well as of some of its contents, for the sake of transparency and honesty. We understand that the past week of radio silence has been really difficult for all of you, but please rest assured that we've been working very, very hard to try and understand what it is that we can and cannot say about this. But we wanted to make sure that what we shared was as much as we were able to share. Within Nijisanji EN, everyone always makes an effort to make sure that anyone who wants to be included in something has the opportunity to do so, whether that be online or offline. And all of us will continue to do our utmost to provide a safe and fun environment for fans to enjoy together. And lastly, to round this off, I want to reiterate, please do not spread hate to anyone involved in any way, shape, or form, or anyone in general, honestly. We ask that in these times you allow us to continue our activities without asking us for any additional information about the situation. At this point, it's an issue for the lawyers, and we ask that you do not pressure any of us to discuss the matter beyond this point. Please reach out to Any Color for contact regarding anything else. And I think that's everything for me. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you, everybody, for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, so it should also be noted, interestingly, that this stream was timed at the exact same moment that Dokibird was doing a Neopets live stream. Like, the exact moment that Nijisanji had their livers apologize and throw Doki under the bus was the moment that Doki was planning on doing a stream personally. You know, not gonna lie, real fucked up. I knew a friend at one point that tried to do something similar to that to another channel. And while the other channel in that instance did deserve it, I did want to point out to that friend that it's kind of weird. She ended up having to cancel that stream immediately. Man, there's tags on this and everything. Weird. So, looking at the comments, we feel so bad she made an attempt on her life, but also she hurt all of us and we're suing her for making us look bad and announcing it publicly. The fact that Nijisanji is using their own talents for damage control puts a bad taste in my mouth. DARVO, the acronym for Deny, Attack, and Reverse and Victim End Reverse the victim and offender is a reaction that perpetrators of wrongdoings may display in response to being held accountable for their behavior. Some researchers indicate that this is a common manipulation strategy of psychological abusers. Let's see here. The whole don't spread hate, but fuck selling, by the way, is kind of a weird path to take in the stream, Jesus. Since this video confirmed that Nijisanji is willing to break NDA, won't this create a massive issue for all business partners and investors? Yeah, Nijisanji has ended a lot of their partnerships recently. The ones that were going to be happening very soon. It is a Darvo tactic. Yeah, this was timed. This was timed for the exact moment that she was planning on doing her stream. Yep. And this was put on the, you know, not personal channel, but the channel of one of the livers specifically. Also, thank you for the resubscription with Prime, Gravame. They planned this because they were hoping Doki would get harassed. I don't know if I would say that they planned it hoping that she would get harassed, but definitely planning it specifically by the during the time where she was going to be doing a stream. It would fuck with somebody's mental health. By the way, just so you know, it was 14 hours prior that Doki announced that she was going to be doing that stream. This all happened 6 hours ago. So just, you know, bit fucked up. Anyway, the situation is horrible, and it's one of the reasons that I do not trust agencies. And I cannot speak to any of my own personal experiences, as I have not joined an agency. But there was an agency that was looking for me, and that ended up turning up shit too. So that's why today's stream ended up being about this instead of anything else. I'm not huge into the entire corporate VTuber scene. A lot of my friends are indie VTubers, but I'm not huge into the corporate side of things. I know my partner is very into HoloLive. Me personally, I am generally not the type of person to look into this kind of stuff. But when I heard that an attempt was made on someone's life, that put it in a category that I care a lot more about now. That elevates it above corporate fucking drama. And looking at everything that's happening there, it feels gross. It feels really gross. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. This was mostly just an info dump of everything that's been going on there. I can't even bring a full conclusion to here outside of go support Doki. Hit the like button if you haven't already. All that other fun stuff. Insert end of video tagline here. Hey, I just quickly want to give a thank you to all of my wonderful patrons who keep this show running. YouTube and Twitch are a pretty bumpy ride at the best of times, and the stability a Patreon provides me is worth more than I can say here. I'd also like to thank each and every one of my $20 and up patrons here, and they would be Red Joker, Britzkrieg, Cameron, Dren, Jemshin, Smiling DM, Poundini, Mabbity Babbity, Naomi, Isaac, Nixie-chan, the Oberon team, Agamotto, Jordan, Ravi, Giuni, Kiratorian, Prisma, all of you, I'm not saying that part, and Starlight. And finally, thank you to everyone else that helps keep this channel alive. While you're here, why not check out another video? And thank you for watching.